Hey, it's Rye. We gotta talk about inaction. Because if you didn't see, last Thursday the lake made front page news again. And it was all about the failed biofilter. And Clark County's warning advisory for Lacamas Lake, it's still in effect. I was talking to people this weekend and kept hearing the same concern. What if doing nothing is actually causing more harm? That biofilter, it's been neglected since 1993. 30 years. 3 decades of decay. And so what was once a state-of-the-art stormwater system is now just a bunch of overgrowth and sludge. The current HOA president over at Lacamas Shores, he was quoted in the paper calling it benign neglect. And I know more than a few people that would call it straight up betrayal. In the city, we know they're pointing elsewhere. They say it's a very, very, very small percentage of nutrients. And I get that, percentage-wise. But even a small percentage can make a big difference. It's still a significant contributor to the problem. And it's like taking over an old house and you have this broken, leaky faucet in there and a ton of other issues. And so while that leaky faucet, it might seem small, you still got to fix it. But this is more than just about water quality. It's about trust, transparency, integrity, because there's an identifiable problem with a relatively affordable solution right in front of you, and it's just totally ignored. But we could address this today if we wanted to. You know, I'm on this learning journey, and as I'm digging deeper, talking with different stakeholders, uncovering concrete steps the city could take right now. Number one, they could initiate a code interpretation to clarify the legal exemptions that biofilter might have. Number two, they could issue a stormwater inspection directive like they do for at least 15 other biofilters around town every single year. Number three, they could call the Department of Ecology and ask whether they'll permit them and the HOA to restore that biofilter by removing all the topsoil and that excess vegetation. But they haven't. And they won't. And so I'm asking, is it because inaction is easier than facing the problem? I've talked with hundreds of folks who feel that the neglect and the lack of transparency is hurting the community and our ability to trust officials. We got to demand more, not just from our elected or appointed officials, but from ourselves. Because it's a problem that we can solve together. We're going to be that change that we seek because Lacamas deserves nothing less. That's what you've all told me, and I'll be your messenger. Let's end this silent crisis once and for all. See you tomorrow.